extended for another 15 days lockdown till 31st May now.
Oh, right. Okay.
How's it been? How's it been out there in Baroda? Is it Ahmedabad's
Yeah,
been pretty hit pretty bad, right?
certain areas are bad, but we are okay. Our side is okay, not a major problem. And we are into surgical business, so we can open our business from say, about 10 to 2 and then 5 to 7 in the evening. We are cool with it, yeah.
So it looks like we're live, guys.
We are live indeed.
Fantastic. All right. Welcome to Fans in Blue, episode 4, with a very, very special guest. A true India great, Nayan Mongia. So thanks a lot, Nayan Bhai, for joining us, and I really, really appreciate your time.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Kushal,
Hope
do you want to?
all of you are safe in US.
We are.
Yeah, we are. So yeah, like Nikhil said, thanks Nayan Bhai for joining us.
Pleasure.
Before we get into the more serious discussion about cricket and things like that, we thought we'd started off with a little light, questioning. Obviously everyone knows your famous line, Iger. So what is the story? Well, how did that become your signature? Where did it begin?
To be frank, even I don't know, Kaushal, how it started, where it started. But yes, I used to play in Bombay for my company, Sungrace Mupatlal. I was employed there. I stayed there in Bombay for about 10, 12 years. And I have a lot of Maharashtrian friends. And probably I must have picked playing matches there in Mumbai, local matches, club matches, company corporate tournament. And even in Baroda, I have a lot of Maharashtrian friends. Probably I must have picked it from them, and it just came out in this one day matches or in the test matches playing for India, and suddenly it started really big, and it just keep coming, and it was spontaneous and nothing planned, nothing serious. When the batsman misses by a whisker, or just to disturb the batsman, probably I must have started. Even I don't realize it how it started when it started.
That's great. You just, I believe I remember seeing you do an ad with the Iger, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it did become your signature.
Yes, it really became a catchy line for India. Yeah, for the 10 years it was really great. But yeah, I had a great fun.
Nice. So how has life been post cricket? What has Nayan Mongia been up to? And do we see him getting? Are you still involved with cricket? And do we see you getting more involved? Maybe coaching, maybe on the administration level, maybe mentoring. I don't know. Just.
Yeah, I take a small assignment. I did do an expert on news channel on a commentary. I take a small assignment. I don't do it for a longer time, or coaching is not my cup of tea. I don't have that kind of a temperament for a coaching. Yeah, I can become a mentor. I would like to be a selector. Then we have a surgical business, honest surgical. So that really keeps me busy. And that's how I kill my time. And as and when any youngsters need any help, I spend time with them. Yeah, I take a small camp, 1 week, 15 days camp. So that's really interesting, but not a full-time coaching job.
Right. I mean, on behalf of, I guess, all of us and kind of the fans in blue as well, as Nikhil was saying, it's really an honor and a privilege to kind of, for us to be kind of chatting to you, kind of, getting to know you, and getting into your kind of, the mind of actually an international cricketer. Yeah. So, in this day and age with kind of stump mics and everyone hearing all the banter that actually goes on, most recently, I guess, with Tim Payne in Australia, if we had that kind of, view in or hear into kind of, the mic when you were playing, what's the kind of stuff that we would have heard, the sledging that went on, the banter, the conversations, who was it like, probably, who came at the Indian team the hardest? Who did you guys go? Any inside kind of, inside stories would be fabulous for the fans.
Yeah, when I started playing in '93, when my debut, and in that time only recently the microphone started. I had paid a couple of penalties for that, breaking the microphone. For disturbing the batsman, I was severely punished, around about $700.
Wow.
by a referee for breaking the microphone of the stump, because I used to put my feet on the microphone so the referee doesn't hear that whatever I say to the batsman. And yeah, but the Australians were tough, so we were giving back to them. In Pakistan matches also, we used to give them. And banter is a part and parcel of
Mm.
cricket, or any sport, and that's really fun. That peps you up, and but you should know whom to tease, whom to banter, whom to talk to them, and certain players are there in
Mm.
international cricket. You don't speak to them at all. Like Javed Miazaj, you take it Brian Lara, you take it Sachin Tendulkar or Steve Waugh or Ricky
Yeah.
Ponting. They, if you tease them, if you talk to them, if you have a banter with them, they really charge themselves. So it's better to keep quiet.
Mm.
So you should know the temperament of each and every player whom you are playing with at international level, whom to banter, whom to tease, whom to say what.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting, and but chit chat has to be there on the field to make it more interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think kind of, it was probably in your era actually where the Indian team actually started kind of giving back. I would say kind of, probably before you, it was like, we were probably quite meek. And I think, we definitely kind of took that aggressive stance kind of in your era,
Yeah,
with you probably being one of the chief architects.
yeah.
Um, so was that like a particular role given to you as the keeper to kind of, keep the team going or?
Yes, that's a part and parcel of keeper role at international level. So you make sure that your all 11 fielders, the 10 fielders on the ground are awake, they are not sleeping, and you have to make sure that you give the weak point to the weak point of a batsman to the bowlers.
Mm.
You discuss with the captain, with the bowlers, what are the weak points, what to and when to say to the batsman to make sure that they get disturbed. You just keep on going all the time. There are particular period, particular time, particular moment where you need to say what you need to say, that time it has to click. And even if you need to put pressure on an umpire, that's
Mm.
also a particular time you need to put pressure on umpire by appealing.
Yeah,
So it's all coordinated, and that's a keeper's job. It comes with an
yeah.
uh, with that baggage. If you're a keeper, that you need to do all these things to make sure that the whole team is alive.
Yeah. And you raised a point on like, the players and fielders could be asleep on the field. So in
Yes,
your playing
especially on
days,
the boundary. Yeah.
yeah, who was most likely to be asleep on the field?
Not sleep kind of thing, but they used to be relaxed because if sometimes the game used to get slow,
Yeah.
so that is the most important time to you have to make sure that everybody's alive. You miss a run out or there's an opportunity when there's a partnership. You feel that nothing is happening. The batsmen are going strongly, and that's time you need to be more alive, more agile, and you have to make sure that things happens for you. You just can't allow the match to drift away from you. So that's
Mm.
the most important time. It happens with every player. It's all human being. Sometimes I used to be sleep when the two batsmen are going, nothing happening in wicket. So I have to keep talking to myself, make sure
Yeah.
that I'm concentrating hard, agile, and there are moments in a game where you need to take that moments to win the matches, to win that moment for your team. So it's very very important.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean they do say kind of, the keeper's job is probably the hardest, right? Because you
Yeah, it's a
cannot make a
thankless
mistake
job.
all
Yeah,
day long. And
yeah,
like, the one mistake you make is actually then talked about and analyzed,
yeah, yeah,
by everyone.
yeah,
So how do you kind of, what were your tips to, as you rightly said, kind of test cricket is a long game,
yeah,
5 days. It's definitely the ultimate test of a cricket, actually.
yeah.
So what tips do you have for kind of, youngsters out there to kind of, concentrate through the whole 90 overs?
As long as you're enjoying that moment, if you're a keeper, if you're enjoying doing keeping, your fitness level has to be very very high if you want to play international level on that heat with that pressure. 90 overs on the ground, you have to keep running all the time, concentrating each and every ball. So it's very tough, But if you're enjoying it and you're liking it, I think nothing is tough for you. But your fitness level has to be really high if you want to be a keeper or if you want to be an international player. It's you have to be on the top of your game, top of your body. So it's tough. How to relax, when to rest, how much workout you need to do. Each and every part of your body should be known by you thoroughly, so you can work on that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, interesting you raised the kind of the fitness point actually, and
Yeah,
and we've seen actually how the game has evolved from a fitness
yeah,
perspective as well, actually. So was John Gloucester the physio and the fitness coach when you were playing, or?
See, I don't believe
Hmm.
that somebody needs to tell you
Hmm.
that what kind of fitness you require. It's your individual body. You should know what's your weak point, what's your strong point. They can help you out. But
Yeah.
in my era, Dr. Ali Ari was there. We didn't have any big
Yeah.
trainer. On the last stage of my career, there was Andrew Lepus. He
Hmm.
was a trainer. So, it's become more scientific now. Nowadays, there are three format. Our time, there was no T20, only test matches and one days. But I make sure that I played all the test matches, all the one days, and never took a break till I was dropped in between and then later on. But I would love to play because when you are in that moment where you are in that fitness mode, I would like to continue keep playing because you don't get tired. You're enjoying yourself and
Hmm.
you're playing for your country. So it's always pride. You don't want to take a break. So I never took a break. I never enjoyed a break. So I think fitness is all individual. Each and every player should know their weak point and strong point where they lack. They need to work out. There are very scientific methods now. The diets have come into a big play. The food habits have changed. The fitness level of this young generation players have gone beyond my imagination.
Hmm.
I think because of that, our fielding standards have really very, very high nowadays, and we are one of the best fielding side in the world. These youngsters have taken this cricket into a different level. I think I T20 has changed the entire scenario of cricket in India.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you was like fitness kind of in your era kind of, did you guys enjoy a beer after the game, like a lovely kind of biryani dinner, or was it kind of more kind of strict on the diet front?
No, as long as you're working hard, I think there should not be any problem whatever you eat. But everything should be in limit. I
Yeah.
don't believe in that the strict diet regime.
Hmm.
I am a big foodie. I love food. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I used to be having lighter breakfast but good dinner
Hmm.
because I need to be agile on the ground. I need to be on the ground, so you can't have a heavy meal. But after the game, everybody would like to enjoy the meal. Yeah, but we did have a nowadays what these youngsters have the planned diet. We didn't have that time in our area, and I like to eat everything. I like to taste, but it's in moderate, in limit, so
Yeah.
that doesn't harm your body.
So why don't you tell us about some amazing celebrations you guys had post some amazing victories, because you were part of some fantastic victories over the years. So how
Yeah,
did
the
you guys
food.
kind of really celebrate?
Yeah, when you play for your country, when you tour abroad, when you're playing for India in India, the foods are amazing. I think whether you doing well or not winning, the foods are served fantastically. You always like to eat. Never restrict yourself whatever is laid out. So, but yeah, I can imagine my best part is winning the Ranji Trophy for Baroda, and that was my best part. You always want to cherish that moment when you're playing for your own state for
Yeah.
Baroda and winning that trophy after a long time. That was fantastic. There is no doubt about it. And of course, there are few one-day international test matches, close matches we have won. The tournament we have won was amazing. So it's a great celebration. We have always get together. The embassies call when you go abroad. The foods are laid beautifully there. Very tasty food. So everybody likes to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, you mentioned some players who you would not want to sledge because they would become better.
Yeah.
Who are some of the players that you knew that if you sledge them, it throws them off their game and they're going to, most likely make a mistake and give you a chance?
I think one player who was there would never mess was Brian Lara. I think if you speak to him, if you tease him, if you disturb him, I think he'll concentrate harder. There is no doubt about it. We have to make sure that you don't keep. You just let them in their mood. If they're not in mood, they'll get out. They'll play some rash shot. But if you pep them up, I think they'll concentrate harder. So, like Steve Waugh was one of them. Ricky Ponting was one of them. From India, Sachin Tendulkar is one of them. So you just keep them alone. There are players who like to talk and play. So he was one. There are few players who don't like to get disturbed. So there were players like Mark Waugh, Mark Taylor. They don't like Matthew Hayden. They don't like to get disturbed. So you know whom to talk to and whom not to talk to.
Can I jump in? I'm a big believer in the quality of wicket keeping. What teams look for nowadays has changed a bit.
Yeah,
I think back in your time, it was more sort of specialist wicket keeper. Now many times teams are picking a batsman who can keep.
yeah,
If I look back at my cricket watching career of the last 26 years that I've been watching this game, I genuinely feel that you were the best keeper to spinners that I've seen. Especially someone like Anil Kumble who bowls at the speed of like a medium pacer, but it was
yeah,
probably very hard to keep to. And then on Indian tracks, I mean, especially in the
yeah.
90s, very, very difficult to keep to some of the great bowlers there. So I guess, one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, how do you rate the quality of wicket keeping these days? Maybe if we could stick first or focus more on sort of the Indian wicket keepers, if you've seen, of course, the Dhonis, and then also more recently, you've had quite a few guys like Rishabh Pant, KL Rahul, etc. So would love to hear your views on that.
Yeah, if you see beginning of Dhoni's career, he's not a natural keeper. He is a keeper, but he's not a natural keeper. But as he progressed, as he keep playing for India, he has improved a lot. His batting has taken the first priority, then his keeping. But later on, he has improved on his keeping. And when you judge a keeper, whoever does lesser mistake, I think we consider them as a better keeper. On a crucial time, end of days play, just before the lunch or a tea, there is an opportunity, and you take that, and so you know that he's agile, he's concentrating, he's focused on the game, and he won't make any mistakes. So lesser balls coming out of your hand gloves as a keeper, they are the better keeper, I think, and which who make sure that the throws, the outfielders who keeps throwing the ball to the keeper and they make them very easy, they are the better keeper. So he has improved a lot, but off late, yeah, Rishabh Pant still long way to go, and especially when you're keeping in subcontinent when you're 90s, where wickets were on a turning track. Nowadays, you get much better keep wickets than what we used to get in 90s. So it's always difficult. Anil Kumble was one of the most difficult bowler to keep, especially in subcontinent, and becomes more difficult when he went abroad because of the bounce with his speed. But I kept keeping him in the nets on a regular basis. So that really helped me to improve my keeping, and becomes very easy for him. And I can make out from his attitude with his anger what kind of bowling he's going to bowl. The biggest advantage for me as Anil Kumble was that he used to bowl in three stumps. Very rarely used to bowl outside the off stump or outside the leg stump. And when he used to be angry, I knew that sometime he might drift down the leg stump or off stump. And it was easy to pick him his googly as well. Batsmen find it difficult, but I, being a Indians, born and brought up in India, so I could make out that what kind of bowl he's going to bowl. So it becomes very easy. You need a natural reflexes. You need to have fitness. You need to practice hard, and you have to make sure that you practice hard and make sure that your ball doesn't come out of your gloves.
Just a really quick question. So, you mentioned Dhoni is he's improved a lot over the years, and the
Yeah,
number of mistakes he's making is very few now versus when he
yeah,
first started. If we look at sort of as fans, when we look at Rishabh Pant, a lot of us seem to think there's potential, but then when it comes to actual wicket keeping ability, there's quite a way to go.
yeah.
In your opinion, is that something that one can learn at the highest level, or how does he improve? Does he have to go back to Ranji Trophy cricket and get better there, or work with a specialist coach?
Yes, international cricket is not place where you learn. You need to be ready. Yes, there are some butterflies in your stomach initially when you play for international cricket, but he's been there and he's been playing T20. He's rubbing his shoulder with all the international players, giving me a lot of opportunity, a lot of support from the team management as well. I think he needs to take his chances now. I think he needs to improve his keeping as well as the batting, and in which situation he gets out. Yeah, nowadays there's an excuse that he's a natural player and this is how it plays, but it didn't work for our time that time. But there are responsibility. You need to change according to your situation. Your game plan changes. You need to work on that. Yes, as he keeps going, he keeps playing for India and keeps on a different surface. If he improves over a period of time, it's fine because we have invested a lot in him. So we need to trust him and give him a few more opportunities before the selectors take the decision.
And just sort of one more question on that point would be, of the current crop of wicket keepers, even if you look at the non-Indian ones, in your opinion, who is the best wicket keeper purely based on keeping ability alone?
I think it's a selector's job to look after all the Ranji Trophy matches and find out who's the best wicket keeper for India. But at international level, yes, I think Dhoni is one of the best wicket keepers right now in current situation.
Yeah. I mean, his hands are so quick. How do you learn that? Like off the spinners, like it's so unorthodox. He doesn't give.
Yes,
I mean,
but see, as long as he holds the ball, as long as he catches the ball, he doesn't miss the opportunity. Doesn't matter how or if it is helicopter shot, there is
yeah,
nowhere written in the cricket book. If
Right.
the coaches were there or you take it Bumrah,
yeah,
as long as your natural ability is able to perform, there should not be any problem. I think it's all natural.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that the concentration and the focus, especially at the end of lunch, end of the tea or end of day's play. What did you do to work on that? I mean, did you meditate? Did you do yoga? How did you maintain your focus for 90
See,
overs?
we used to have yoga teacher, we used to have a psychiatrist, doctor used to come, but I don't believe in that. As far as I am concerned, as long as the fire is burning in your stomach, as long as you're hungry, everything fall in place. You know how to deliver. You're playing for country. You don't need to be told that you need to concentrate, you need to meditate, you need as per situation you need to adapt and play. It's as simple as you can't pre-plan it. Yes, when you are stressed out, when a current situation, your breathing has to be normal, your temperament has to be cool, and that is what it is. It comes naturally to me, and I make sure that my body was in a good shape. I used to do a lot of fitness. As long as you're fit, your concentration level is also very high that time because you don't get tired. When you break your concentration means you're not physically fit. You're not able to perform best of ability. You take it Virat Kohli. Why he's been so successful is because of his fitness. Why all these international cricketers in current crop are able to do consistent perform because of the fitness level. You don't need to tell anybody that you're playing for a country, you're playing for India, you have a sense of responsibility. This is the situation. You can't pre-plan and go. You change according to your situation, and that is what the greatness is all about.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, now if you look at teams, actually, sometimes the support staff is actually more than the 11 players who get
Yeah,
on the actual
yeah,
field. You have a batting
yeah,
coach, a fielding coach, a
yeah,
throwing coach,
yeah,
in your time, I guess it was Anshuman Gaikwad who was like the manager come coach for a
yeah. We
while.
had coach, we had manager, and we had a physio.
Yeah.
And later on of my career, we had a trainer.
Hmm.
Otherwise, we never had it. So nowadays it's more scientific, more professional. You need somebody to throw down. Somebody are weak in certain selection of the ball, so the throwdowns are given to them. The catches used to given. So I used to take one player, or I used to tell my coach to give me 100 or 500 catches. So all specific drills are there. More scientific, more professionalism has come. It's good. There is no harm in it.
Yeah, yeah. And who was your favorite coach? Like who added the most value at the international level in your playing career?
I think I knew Anshu very well. He used to read minds very well. He was technically sound. That the Bob Simpson was there, Australian. He was there for part-time coach before the World Cup, so
Mm-hmm.
he was very good, uh, uh, more professional. How to go about your practice, how to go about your training. He explained us what is your requirement as an international cricketer. He explained us. So it's a, see all, it's a different perspective of each and individual player. It's man management. How you get that 15 players together to work as a team. To take care of their egos, their performance. What suppose if I want to take best of you, what should I tell him? What should I tell Kaushal? What should I tell Nikhil? How to get best out of it? So that is a coach's job. That's an art. So I think the management is very important.
Yeah, no, no, very true. And kind of, when it comes to concentration, one of your, I guess, career highlights and something that I've always enjoyed watching is the Kotla Test actually,
Yeah,
where you kept, and you also got this phenomenal stumping down the leg side actually, which was,
yeah.
in my opinion,
Glenn
like the
Healy's one.
hardest.
Yeah, yeah,
But also the amazing 150. when you opened the batting. So, why don't you talk us through kind of, what was going through your mind when that actually happened, and like, how you got an amazing 150 opening the batting?
Yeah. See, the good thing about that test match, it was one of only test match, and I was told beforehand by the selectors that I'm going to open. So I was mentally and physically prepared to do that job. So whenever there used to be crisis, they used to always tell me to open, and the openers never perform in South Africa, in Australia, or some other places. So I was told that you're not going to open, you're going to bat number 6 or number 7. But suddenly they used to tell me that you have to open. But in this one of test match, I was told that you're going to open the innings. So I was mentally and physically prepared 1 week before the test match started. So I practiced, and luckily I could, my body was in a good shape. I was in a good frame of mind. Everything went right for me. I almost there for 90 hours for non-stop 4 days.
Hmm.
I knew that I might break down after that because it was really tough. But luckily, my fitness level was good. So all 4 days I was on the ground batting and keeping somehow. And rightly you said that the Hindi stumping of Anil Kumble's bowling, I guess, is one of the best stumping I would rate in Test cricket. Yeah,
Yeah, no, totally. It's. I mean, it's sometimes underrated, because bowlers have their best balls and batsmen
yeah,
have their shots, but sometimes kind of keepers unfortunately get overlooked, and that's such a fantastic piece of work.
yeah.
But
And the best part was that ball came in between the two legs, and it's more the difficult. So it's all anticipation. That ball will drift here, ball will come in between. So you're always watching the ball straight away. So that's the important point as a keeper, that you need to keep watching the ball all the time till it comes to your hand.
yeah, I mean, for all those watching, I would encourage everyone to kind of go to YouTube and kind of pull up that piece of work by Nehan
Yeah.
Mongia. That's fantastic.
Yeah, there's
And
one more stumping I remember of in one day international of Michael Bevan of in Kochi when Sachin Tendulkar got 5 wickets.
Oh yeah, I
It
remember that
was
game.
really hot and humid condition. It was really bad, and quite a few players were on saline after that. Even I was on saline, and that time it was he bowled one of the best spell of his career in leg spin, and that the ball drifted on the leg side. It turned a lot, and it was outside the leg stump, wide ball, and I took the stumping, and it changed the game. Otherwise, we would have lost the game.
yeah,
Nayan, really quick, you talked about Sachin over there. I remember specifically, it might have been during the series in Sharjah when Sachin scored a couple of hundreds. If
Yeah,
I'm not wrong, you batted at 3 in
yeah,
one of those
yeah,
games or both those games and scored a
yeah.
50.
All 3 games. Yeah,
Yeah. So, I still remember that you were sort of a big contributor
pinch
to,
hitter.
yeah, exactly, pinch hitter in those chases, and
Yeah,
clearly you won the final there.
yeah.
Question for you is, in fact, it's someone in our fans who's watching who's posed it. You were at the other end for Sachin batting for a number of years. You've played a lot of cricket with him. You've batted with him a lot, and I'm sure you follow cricket a lot now. How do you compare, someone like Sachin versus someone like a Virat Kohli these days?
It's very difficult to compare both the players. I think the era were different, the pressures were different, but yes, the class both the players have is phenomenal. I think the hunger of success, hunger of batting is unbelievable. The pressure, the expectation what Sachin had is of 100 billion people always to get 100 to win matches was unbelievable. Virat Kohli, whenever he goes to bat, even if you want to chase 400, there is a possibility as long as Virat Kohli is there, and he has done it, and it's and on a consistent basis. So I think both the players are genius. There is no doubt about it.
Kushal, you want to carry forward?
Yeah, sure. So you mentioned, keeping to the great Anil Kumble was always a challenge, but you had the benefit of keeping him in the nets.
Practice, yeah.
So what about his bowling? What we can see on TV is the pace, the
Yeah,
bounce.
yeah.
What about his bowling was that, just incredible? And especially if you can just touch upon that day in Kotla where he picked up the 10 wickets
The-
and you were,
See, it's an accuracy. The best part of his is accuracy, and he's always on to the batsman. He will never give a loose delivery. He's always putting pressure on a batsman. That is the important thing. And he has one googly which turns a lot more than his leg spin, and his aggression was like a fast bowler, was never like a spinner. So, and he was a very clever bowler. He understood. He's an engineer, so he's always playing on the mind of a batsman. So it's he the main strength I would say of Kumble was an accurate bowler. Accuracy on when his wicket is crumbling on the third and fourth day, he's unplayable because of his speed.
And a little bit about the 10 wicket haul he took in at the Kotla. You were keeping, so you obviously had the best
Yes,
seat in the house.
correct. I remember, way Shahid Afri and Saeed Anwar started off, I thought probably we lose the game. They were 100 or 90 for no loss before just before the lunchtime, and I still can't remember whether Shahid Afridi nicked or not. I took the catch, and umpire gave him out, and he was furious that time, and he's still furious till today. And after that is all history. What happened after the lunch, way Kumble came back after the lunch and bowled, and I still remember when 8 wickets were down, and Srinath and Prasad, Srinath I guess was bowling,
They're
and we
bowling
had to
wides, yeah.
specifically told not to bowl in the stumps. You have to bowl out to the off stump. So make sure that Kumble gets another couple of wickets from the other side. So yeah, there are no words to describe that feeling. Winning the Test matches, being part of that history of 10 wickets haul of Anil Kumble was unbelievable. And
Quick,
especially when you're playing against Pakistan and then going everything right for you, it's a huge moment for India.
Kushal, if you don't mind just me interjecting, you spoke about Kumble, prior to lunch, they were 100 for no loss, and then Kumble came back and bowled really well. And do you think anything like what do you attribute that to? Was that Kumble suddenly sort of got some inspiration and started bowling better, or was a pitch condition changed? For us watching on TV, we oftentimes rely on commentators to tell us what's happening. But I'm curious, what your thoughts were,
No,
being out there in the middle.
sometimes the batsman takes you on the counter attack. The Shahid Afridi and Saeed Anwar counter attack Anil Kumble and the fast bowlers before the lunch. Just on the time of lunch, they lost Shahid Afridi, and after that, it was never looking back for Anil Kumble. He got his rhythm back. The wicket was not that great for batting,
Yep.
and suddenly everything falls into place for as a bowler, or even when you are a batsman on a bad wicket, everything falls in your place. You start playing shots, everything falls in your place. So it's you can't explain. It's very difficult to explain till you see that moment, or till you practice, or till you go and watch the game what happened. So yeah, but credit should go to Anil Kumble where he bowled. He was accurate, and everything went to it. The pressure was building on Pakistani, and whenever India Pakistan game is there, there's always pressure. And whoever handles the nerve better will win the game.
Like, what's the outside pressure? And everyone keeps talking about this. I believe
Oh,
Sachin
huge.
once said, yeah.
Huge. I can tell you the 96 World Cup in Bangalore, we had so many meetings what to do. And you when you're standing on the stiff fielder can't hear me, or I can't hear the stiff fielder. There's so much of noise. There's butterfly in our stomach. You can't eat food eve of the game, after the game, during lunchtime, tea time. You don't feel hungry. You're so much of tense. You're so much of pressure. And then after the game, you're totally drained off. Because there's a pressure of expectation. भाई तुमको सबसे हारना है, इनसे हारना नहीं है. So that is kind of a pressure. So but once you start playing half an hour, 45 minutes, then everything now settle down. But the pressure is always there.
But is that pressure even there from the team management? Like, you can lose to everyone, but not to them? Or is this more an
It goes
external
without saying.
media?
There is a pressure. Whoever says that there is no pressure, it's wrong. There isn't always pressure. But you know that it's just a game. You are try your best. So that is what I'm saying. Whoever holds the nerves better, and whoever makes lesser mistake in that crucial game against Pakistan or Australia or any international game will come out winner. Why Australians were successful? Because they used to do the basic rights in 90s. They had the player to do the basic right. What is their requirement to win the matches, to win that moment, to win that particular position of a game. So that is what you need to do. You need to do your basic rights to win the matches, and that's what Australia did it. And now Indians are doing it. They're capturing the moment to win the matches.
Yeah,
That's very important,
Yeah.
ensuring that you identify the moment and then actually, capturing it. But just speaking a little bit about the other spinner that you kept, I don't believe you kept him a lot, but the famous Kolkata match, Harbhajan Singh,
Yeah.
he picked a hat trick, and it's a similar story where Australia started off well. We weren't
Yeah,
getting wickets, and then last session is when we really ran
yeah.
through them.
Yeah, I can
What
imagine. I
about
was
him
padding.
was
I
different?
was padded for day and a half when Kumble with Rahul and Lakshman batting. Lakshman was told to bat at number three, and that is all history. That's phenomenal Test matches, phenomenal inning, and what Harbhajan bowled was outstanding. I've seen him making his debut in Sharjah, bowling his dusra, and way he has grown up was outstanding bowler he has become. And that Test match was, you don't have words to describe it. Everything falls in a place. Nobody would have imagined that India is fall on and win the Test match. So that's a self belief that anything can happen when you have time, when you have ability, when you have class, when you can deliver. So that is what I'm saying. When you are making sure that the opposition in is a flat position, don't allow them to come up, especially Australia in that 90s. If you give them an inch, they will take your entire game away from you. So, and what Lakshman and Rahul did was outstanding batting display to play against Shane Warne on that condition, use of the feet, the concentration, the technique, the skill. You put it, everything went right for that day for both the players.
But was there any plan, or was it just let's go and see
No,
what
there was no
happens?
plan.
Because
There was no plan. We just went with the moment, and it was a team decision, the captain decision to send Lakshman at number three. So he was in a good nick. He used to play spin well. He uses his feet well. So we wanted somebody who can counter attack, and luckily it paid off.
I mean, we were basically dead in the water at that time, right? We lost the first Test match in three
Yeah.
days. The
Yeah, in
second Test
Bombay
we're
when Matthew
following
Hayden.
on.
Yeah, absolutely. He just swept and swept all both the spinners, Matthew Hayden,
Yeah.
and what a batsman he was. And he took the game away from us. There is no doubt about it. Just because of counter attack, we didn't play badly, but he played superbly. We need to give credit to Matthew Hayden where he batted in that Test match, and they came with
Even
a plan.
Gilchrist, right?
Yeah, Gilchrist, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And how is it actually, I would love to get your insight on how it is facing Shane Warne, because many people say that, like, you're playing not just the ball, but you're playing the bowler as well. So, how is it because you faced him quite a bit in your career. So how was it like? Was he
Oh,
giving
he's
you
a
grip all
great
the
bowler.
time?
You give him on a glass surface, he'll be able to spin the ball. So bowler who spins the ball, I think he's going to be a great bowler. He will be a wicket taker bowler, and he was an aggressive bowler. He was not scared of getting hit. He always used to challenge the batsman, and he used to come, great guns. He used to spin the ball. When he started his career, he probably didn't get any wicket for 200 runs when Shastri got 100 on or
Yeah.
Australia, but when he came back was unbelievable. He had a big heart. Any player who plays, any bowlers who spin the balls or to play internationally, he needs to have a big heart to play. He was just outstanding. He had a lot of variation, a lot of strength, a lot of courage, and he displayed to it international cricket.
And did he, when he bowled, did he talk to the batsman a lot? Like, was he always
Oh
giving you?
yes, absolutely. He likes to talk. He likes to take on to the batsman.
So what were the kind of things he would say to you or the other players there?
Anything, any particular moment, nothing specific, but on that particular one, whatever situation happens, he likes to give challenge to the batsman. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And then just taking you back to kind of the Pakistan games, because we're luckily have an amazing World Cup record against them,
Yeah.
going right
Yeah.
all the way back. So after the kind of the Bangalore game or even the 99 World Cup game that you were a
Yeah,
part
in
of
England. Yeah.
in England, after the game's over with Pakistan, like, do you guys have beers together in the dressing room?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have a dinner together, and I still remember it was in '99. The Kargil war was happening, and we didn't know that we were in England,
Hmm.
and the whole street was out, the whole public was out. It was like as if we were in India. Uh, it took about a couple of hours from ground to reach hotel, and the
Yeah.
sweets were sold. They were sharing. The whole Indian population, the Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, expatriates, the whole street was blocked. It was so difficult to go out of that stadium in England. You can't imagine that you are in England. It's just amazing feeling.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to get insight as to kind of what happens kind of beyond the what the fans
Yeah,
actually see on
whoever,
TV.
either Pakistan or Australia, after the game is gets over, we share our experience. We share a glass of beer. We have a meal together sometime in the restaurant when you're down. We
Yeah,
share our careers. We share our families. We share our go out for the shopping together. So it's absolutely normal.
Yeah. So who is the best captain that you've played under?
I think it's very difficult. Azhar was a very great captain. He used to win tosses very importantly. You know, he had the luck in his side, and he used to give a lot of confidence to the bowler. Yeah, but he was one of the whatever cricket I played, most of the time he was the captain.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's right actually, because most of your career would have been under Azhar, and maybe
Yeah.
briefly towards the end would have
Sachin
been.
was a little bit, yeah. And the last stage of my Ganguly was the captain, yeah. But most of the time, the Azhar was the captain, yeah.
Right. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit on, Rashid asked you about facing Shane Warne, but one of the things I think Indian batsmen have maybe gotten better over the years is at facing genuine fast bowling. I guess what was your mindset like, your preparation like, etc., when you had to face some great fast bowlers such as, the Ambrose, the Wasim, Waqar, the McGraths of the world?
I think our time, there was a lot of A2s were not there, very limited A2s were there, exposure playing in Australia, South
Right.
Africa, or England. Nowadays, you get a lot of A2s. But yeah, we used to practice on a cement wicket. Uh, Whoever cuts and pulls used to be more successful when you are facing against the fast bowlers. Whoever can leave the bouncer, I think the half the battle is won that time. So from our generation, we started taking very seriously abroad tours. We wanted to make sure that we win matches abroad, so we can be recognized as a good international team who can travels well, who wins outside India. Yeah, but nowadays the young generation who tours so much in South Africa, Australia, England, they had an advantage of playing good fast bowlers. The skills development has improved. They take on head on with the fast bowlers. Our domestic wickets have improved a lot. We a lot of emphasis on the fast bowlers in domestic cricket also. We have good lot of bunch of fast bowlers in for the practice. So that has made a lot of difference in Indian cricket playing fast bowlers over a period of time.
So one question I wanted to ask you on that is, we three of us are sort of genuine Test cricket fans, but you mentioned T20 sort of changed the whole
Yeah.
approach to Indian cricket. One thing we talked about in the last few episodes is we find that the quality of openers in Indian Test cricket has actually not, we had a Sehwag and Gambhir who were really successful for a while, but after that, we haven't really had too many consistent openers, maybe Murali Vijay for a few years. So I guess, in your opinion, do you think it's maybe that the best batsmen are now focusing their skills on T20 style batting? And that's why Test cricket batting is opening, or Test cricket opening batting is suffering? Or do you think there's a different sort of, reason for that?
No, I think it's opening is a specialized job. I think uh, whoever opens in junior cricket or first class cricket, they are able to open in first class cricket. I think the T20 has changed. We used to get about 200, 250 runs in a day in a test matches before. Now you get 300 runs, 330 runs because you need to play shots. T20 has changed that concept. You get a result in 4 days' time because the bowlers are aggressive, the batsmen are aggressive. They don't want to defend, they want to take counter attack. Sehwag has shown how to bat in open. He was never an opener. Gambhir was a genuine opener. Rohit Sharma was never an opener, but he started opening off late, and he was given an opportunity. He's been successful. So opening is a specialized job. The mindset has to be totally different. You should know how to leave the ball, how to build the inning, what kind of situation you are in. You need to capitalize because you get a lot of opportunity, a lot of time in your hand. You stay there for a couple of hours, the whole day is yours. But you need to know what kind of shot selection you need to do in a test match.
Right. So I guess you're saying that a lot of the guys who have come in more recently probably are not so much lacking in technique, but more so in mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then,
that should be good enough.
yeah.
Yeah, we good to go?
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. Kushal, you wanna?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nayan bhai. It was a pleasure. Just hopefully maybe you enjoyed it as well, and we can have you back
Sure.
soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. See you. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Yep. Bye.